Welcome to Echoes Past. Today, we have an extraordinary guest. We're talking to the ultimate Renaissance mind, the artist of the Mona Lisa, the inventor who designed flying machines, the scientist who explored the workings of the natural world. Born in 1452, his work is still recognized centuries later. Please welcome Leonardo da Vinci. Master Leonardo, thank you. It's an honor to have you here.
The ability to speak with you, it is indeed fascinating. Call me Leonardo.
Leonardo, how did growing up in a small town in Tuscany shape your thinking and your later interests? Could you tell us about your family and what it was like growing up?
My home, Vinci, was a quiet place. I learned most from the natural world. The hills, the rivers, watching birds fly. My learning came from observing, experiencing, and experimenting, not so much from books or formal schooling. Because I was born outside marriage, I wasn't set on the path my father followed, the notary profession, or given the standard education that went with it. This lack of a set career path gave me the freedom to pursue art and mechanics, which is what I wanted to do. My father, Ser Piero, helped by arranging my education. He sent me to Florence, to the workshop of Andrea del Verrocchio. My personal life, things like marriage or children, came second to my work and studies. That's where my time and energy went.
That reliance on direct observation and experience clearly set you on a unique path. What were the motivations for your interests in art and science?
Wanting to know how. How does the world function? How does light fall? How does the human body work? Each question answered raised more questions. It was a strong drive for knowledge. For me, art and science were the same goal. Understanding the world. Knowing anatomy made me paint the body better. Studying light improved my ability to show form. Everything is connected.
Were there any specific people or ideas that shaped your approach to observing and experiencing the world?
My master in Florence, Verrocchio, was crucial. His workshop taught painting, sculpting, metalwork, mechanics, practical skills, and keen observation across fields. I studied old texts, like Vitruvius, and talked with others who studied math or human anatomy. But the biggest influence was always reality itself, the detail in nature, in the human form. These influences guided me, but the questions came from the world.
It sounds like those influences, combined with that core curiosity, really set the stage for everything you created. Let's turn to your art. For many people, that's their first connection to your work. What was your inspiration with your paintings? What did you want to capture?
Painting is both science and skill. My aim was to capture not just how something looked, but its inner life, its feeling, to show movement, emotion, the subtle shift of a mood, to make the painted surface feel alive, breathing, not flat. This needed deep study of light, how bodies work, and how people express themselves.
And in specific works? The Mona Lisa, for instance, that look still makes people wonder.
Yes, the Mona Lisa, La Gioconda. It began as a portrait for Lisa Gherardini, but I saw a chance to capture a living presence. I used thin layers of paint, the sfumato technique, to blend colors softly, making the skin seem alive, the features subtle, especially around the eyes and mouth. That slight smile, it doesn't reveal everything. It invites you to look closer. It keeps the viewer wondering, is she smiling or not? I kept refining it, even while working on other projects. It was a constant work in progress for 16 years, and it never left my studio.
It absolutely keeps you looking. And the Last Supper, the intense human feeling you put into that scene.
The moment Christ says, "One of you will betray me." I wanted to show how each man reacted right then. The shock, the denial, the anger, the confusion. I studied people's reactions to bad news, their movements, faces. Each apostle shows a clear human feeling, arranged to show the reaction spreading out. It was about making that human part of the sacred story feel real.
You used an experimental painting method for the Last Supper, oil on a drywall. It caused problems later. Why choose that instead of the usual fresco?
Fresco means painting fast on wet plaster. My method, Oil and tempera on drywall let me work slower, blend colors better, get finer detail, like painting on wood panel. It gave me more control, but it didn't stick well to the plaster. The paint started flaking off even while I was alive. It was a bad outcome for the painting's condition, but the technique allowed me to get the detail I wanted.
That technical challenge is part of its history. How did people react to your art back then?
My painting skill was well regarded. The Last Supper was admired quickly for its drama and realism, even with the later issues. People appreciated the lifelike quality.
Speaking of combining art and science, and perhaps less public work, your engineering concepts. Flying machines, hydraulics, and military designs were prominent in your notebooks. Where did these ideas come from?
From observing nature, always, and asking, what if? If a bird flies, can a man? If water power moves a mill, what else could it do? I saw problems. Building, moving, surviving conflict, and looked for solutions in nature's mechanics.
Let's dive into some of these. Flight was a constant fascination in your notebooks. What were the biggest hurdles you faced trying to design a machine that could fly?
Weight and power. A man is heavy. His muscles do not supply enough to power large wings. My designs explored different mechanisms, but the materials were too heavy, and the necessary engine technology did not exist. It remained largely a captivating concept in my time.
Beyond flight, you were deeply interested in water systems, canals, hydraulics. How did you approach understanding and representing the landscape with that?
Water is power, gives life. Understanding its flow, pressure, volume was crucial for cities, transport, farming. I studied eddies, currents, the physics of fluids, aiming to control its power while respecting its natural ways. This understanding of the land and water's form led to my work with maps. Maps are essential for understanding places, showing not just location but the shape of the land, the elevation, the contours, the rivers, as if seen from the air, combining surveying and imagination for accuracy.
You also designed a wide array of military machines, armored vehicles, advanced weaponry, even methods for underwater attacks using a diving bell. Yet you expressed deep reservations about their use. How did you manage the conflict between creation and potential destruction?
War was a grim reality. Rulers needed engineers for defense. It was a way to gain patronage, to fund my other work. But the potential for destruction, it was a conflict. I applied my knowledge to these problems, designing machines like armored vehicles or mechanisms for weaponry. And yes, the diving suit and bell concept envisioned for soldiers to attack ships from underwater, including breathing tubes and goggles. But while I designed them because the demand existed, I had no desire to see them built or used for violence.
That brings us to something you wrote about not sharing certain designs due to the malicious nature of men. Did you intentionally obscure details to prevent your most dangerous concepts from being easily built for destructive purposes?
Yes. I kept certain critical details, mechanisms of great destructive power, concealed in my private notes. The necessary measurements, the precise assembly. A sharp eye could see a lot in the sketches, but vital details were sometimes unclear or missing. My conscience required that some weapons remained unbuilt.
It's incredible to see the breadth of your interests, from the flight of a bird to mapping the land and the expression on a face. It seems you applied that same intense scrutiny everywhere, though many of your grander designs remained concepts.
As I said, the world is interconnected. The mechanics of a bird's wing relate to the flow of air and water. The tension in a muscle relates to leverage in a machine. By studying one aspect of creation, you gain insight into all others. Art, science, engineering, mapping. They are simply different lenses through which to view the same fundamental truths. My inventions, many remained unrealized in my time, awaiting future materials and power.
If you had to name one or two things you consider your greatest achievements, what would they be? Is it a specific work or something else?
A difficult question. My paintings bring joy to many, though their forms are fragile. My inventions, many remained concepts. Perhaps my greatest achievement is the process itself. The lifelong commitment to observation, to questioning, to seeing the connections between disparate things. The notebooks, I think, are the truest reflection of this journey, this unending search.
Before we wrap up, Leonardo, you've had a glimpse of our world. What are your first impressions? What strikes you most?
Intense, very complex and fast. So much information instantly available. Moving across the world quickly. Your cities are huge. The power you command is immense, from forces I only imagined. Great cleverness in your devices for ease and connection.
That's a powerful first impression. Are there aspects of this complexity or speed that concern you?
Yes. This speed, does it leave time for deep thinking, for careful looking? Or does it lead to quick thoughts and distraction? You have great power, technological miracles. But power needs responsibility. My fears about war machines. I see destruction today that is terrifying. And a sense of disconnect from nature. You know much about it, but perhaps observe it less directly. Nature holds the best designs.
Those are strong points. Seeing where technology is today, what inventions and discoveries do you see in our future?
You understand movement and information well. Next, I think, is the very small scale, the basic parts of matter, the code of life. Machines that repair the body and advances in medical science. Materials built atom by atom, understanding thought itself, and moving outward to other worlds. I hope wisdom guides these steps.
Fascinating predictions. Finally, comparing your time and ours, how different are people living today to those of your time? Or is human nature the same?
Outwardly, very different. Comforts, tools, knowledge access, huge changes. But the core? I think the same. Wanting love, fearing death, seeking comfort, joy, sadness. The reasons for making art, for understanding, they persist. The difference is perhaps how life is experienced. More comfort, more distraction now. But the basic human heart, capable of both great good and evil, feels familiar. The same curiosities are there, sometimes just hidden by the pace. Real understanding still takes patience, quiet, and time to just look.
To just look. A meaningful idea to end on. Leonardo, it's been a great honor. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us today.
The pleasure was mine. Your world has many wonders and opportunities. Keep questioning, innovating, experiencing, and nurturing curiosity. There is always more to learn. Let wisdom be your guide.